In at Warwick Farm in Sydney for today's Rich Race meeting, one which has been affected by the New South Wales jockey strike. Senior New South Wales jockeys this week voted to continue their strike against the racing club's refusal to pay jockeys an insurance fee of $2.70 per ride. Apprentices have acted as stand-in jockeys today. But to race 3 now and the Group 3 up-and-coming stakes. The track was slow and the favourite Patronise at 6-4.
Between the men getting it, and Show County headed up. Patronisers coming at it in a hurry. Charles County feeling the pinches dropping off, and Strasbrook putting in a run, and then Brain Promise. Patronise takes the lead away from Show County inside the 200, a length and a half clear of Show County, who has nothing left at the moment, and Strasbrook is rattling home well down the outside, but it's all Patronise, and Patronise has beaten Strasbrook, Stylish Century maybe, or the other one, Strasbrook.
So the favourite Patronise a clear win at 6-4 ahead of Stylish Century and Strasbrook at 8-1. Still at Warwick Farm, race 5, the Tui's Warwick Stakes.
Temple Front is in a similar position. Groucho skipped away with about 250 to go. Card Shark trying to get up on the inside of it second. Here's Research working into the clear, and Targlish is putting in a good run. Groucho's in front of Card Shark halfway down the straight. Doesn't have a danger, I don't think, and Groucho's clear for home. Groucho's going to race home to win it. I'd say Card Shark second, maybe Palace Revolt got the third, then Research, Targlish, followed by Stargazer, Temple Front.
So the favourite again home, Groucho at 9-4, Palace Revolt second, followed by Card Shark. To Melbourne now and Moonee Valley, race 5, the Manicato Stakes.
Our Westminster hook to the outside, and then Vitalik Courtsa. Redelva balances up behind the leader, but our Westminster throws down the gauntlet. Vitalik out after him. Our Westminster is the leader. Vitalik trying to reach him, but the Kiwis packing too many guns. He's a length clear, draws away. Our Westminster wins it by a length. Vitalik third, Redelva.
Westminster at 11-2 ahead of Vitalik. Unplaced favourite Courtsa at 3-1. Both the Australian men...
Top-class New Zealander Our Westminster looks set for a big spring after a convincing win in the Manicato Stakes at Moonee Valley today. Ridden a superb race by Peter Cook, the stylish son of Grosvenor, defeated and then survived a protest from Vitalik. And the Jumps Jockeys Challenge finished in a draw between the Australian and Irish jockeys, each finishing with 33 points. First on the program, won by Monsoon Magic, starting 6-4, favourite made it 3 in a row. The second went to Nagle Road, who proved he's not just a wet tracker, scoring at 12s. The third to Valiant Gamble, a fine performance, having to concede 7 kilos to the runner-up. Race 4 went to Duke of Oak Hill, who scored very well, going like a winner a long way from home. The Manicato was the first of our replays.
Our Westminster hook to the outside, and then Vitalik Courtsa. Redelva balances up behind the leader, but our Westminster throws down the gauntlet. Vitalik out after him. Our Westminster is the leader. Vitalik trying to reach him, but the Kiwis packing too many guns. He's a length clear, draws away. Our Westminster wins it by a length. Vitalik third, Redelva. Jetfighter.
Our Westminster too good at 11-2 over Vitalik and Redelva, and certainly Courtsa 3-1 favourite battled on quite well. Easy one in the next for Not Political.
Chloe and Phosphor around the home turn. Further back is Gay Bell, and then came Little Ripper, but Not Political striding away under the whip and will score very handsomely. Not Political, a class above them, won it by about 2.5 lengths to Young Chloe. Getting up to run third, Gay Bell, and then Phosphor.
Not Political starting 10-9 favourite, too good for them over Young Chloe and Gay Bell, and Golden Prayers outsprinted them in the final bit of the second leg of the double.
Golden Prayer's out now. She's finishing well, and then Dare to Hope. Senior Rally beaten, and Golden Prayer raced up to Seaside Lady. Golden Prayer's taken the lead near the post from Seaside Lady, coming again, but Golden Prayer too good, wins it by a head, Seaside Lady. And 2.5 away, third, Senior Rally, and then came Royal
Golden Prayer first up since May, scoring at 10s over Seaside Lady, and a disappointing Senior Rally. Arc Regal, too good in the last.
Sculpted Archer now, Arc Regal. Ryder lost the whip, but he's still coming home strongly, Arc Regal. Street Ruffian in front, but Arc Regal comes home the best on the outside. Takes the lead with about 50 metres to go, and despite the fact he's dropped the whip at the turn, Arc Regal wins 3/4, Street Ruffian. Third, Sculptured Archer, and then High Waters.
And that made it 2 in a row for Arc Regal at 3s, and the favourite Impressionism was disappointing out of a place. Daily double today, a pair of 2s, 35.70. The extra 6 and 5, 58.95. Quadrella 5 treble 2 paid $408.25, and the quad extra treble 2 and 3, $303.50. Victoria took the honours at the Australian.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our racing, and good morning to Roy Higgins.
Morning, Bill. Great day at Munio Valley yesterday.
Oh, it was. It was a wonderful day's racing, and the Manikato Diabetes Stakes was a ripper, wasn't it?
It was a great race. You know, we had some, well, the best that are around at present over the sprint course, and courts are a bit of a surprise about the big plunge out there yesterday, Bill.
Yeah, I was very surprised. Nick Collins says he only had $400 on it himself. I wouldn't doubt his word for a moment. It is a surprise. Well, I believe a lot of the money came from Sydney.
I see that, yes. It's obviously someone doesn't believe someone because, you know, Ross McDonald, her trainer, had been quoting all the week that she's definitely in need of the race. And Nick said it openly on radio on Saturday morning. So it's quite strange. I thought a good run, especially from Barrier 1. The highlight of the day, naturally, was the Irish boys and the Australian boys drawing, with Michael Payton winning the two jumping events at the Valley, which they finished equal on points, which is great. I thought it was a great spectacle over the week or so that they've been competing, because, you know, you've got to remember those boys, they're really up against it. They're riding on foreign tracks, foreign horses, and foreign colours and a different track every day.
And they're taking home some foreign money.
Exactly right. But and I thought also the other great highlight of Australian racing yesterday was our two young apprentices in Sydney, Stephen King and Damien Oliver. Between them, they won the first 5 races at a very difficult track, Warwick Farm. As we know, there is a bit of a strike on over there, and all apprentices were competing at Warwick Farm, and Stephen King winning 3, Damien Oliver 2, and it just goes to prove the strength we have here in Victoria and our up-and-coming young riders.
Sure does, Roy. Well, the Australia Irish Challenge, 6 points in front, the Irishmen coming to the first race yesterday at Munio Valley, the hurdle.
And then further back, Old Fitz, but it's Monsoon Magic for the Australian side. Up to the bend, 2 in front. Romney battling on well for Kevin O'Brien from Ireland. He's still coming home well, Romney. 4 further back, Game Patrol, but the leader is Monsoon Magic into the straight, 1 hurdle to go. Romney on the outside out after him. Here they come down towards the last. Monsoon Magic jumped it well, a neck in front. Romney gradually getting to him. Australia rallying on the inside, and Monsoon Magic gets home by 3/4 in the run to the line. 2 Romney, 10 lengths.
And Monsoon Magic 6-4 favourite, 2 wins in a week. They're only 3 points the difference now with 1 to go. Let's have a look at race 2.
Sting and Black Cave. Nagle Road swept to the front, 300 to go. Warricato's gone, I'd say. Getting to second, Hussar's Pick, and then Warricato third. 2 to Red Robe, and then Ragatan pulled out wide, but Nagle Road the leader. Around the turn, about a length in front, a length and a half to Hussar's Pick. Ragatan late, but still about 6 off the lead. Nagle Road in front with 100 metres to go, holding Hussar's Pick. Then down the outside late, Ragatan, but Nagle Road too good here today. And Nagle Road ridden beautifully by Chipman by 2.5. Ragatan second, third is Hussar.
And Nagle Road at 12-1, as called by 3UZ's Brian Martin and Gary Gray and his wife Honor are the owners there.
From Sportsplay.
From Raceplay.
Raceplay, sorry, yeah.
And it bolted in. Good luck
it was a
with
good win. Good ride and a good win. I thought the young boy on the second place, Ragatan, he got some miracle runs at Sandown there last start. He barely went round a horse there. And I think he was waiting. He was at a different track, Moonee Valley, yesterday, and it's not easy to get runs at Moonee Valley, and especially in those long races. So I think overall it probably should have won the race.
Here's the decider in the jumping races.
Sweep coming again, joins Valiant Gamble. It's Desperate Sweep again with his head in front of Valiant Gamble. The whips are cracking. 1 fence out, 5 lengths further back, then Believe, who can't go on from Questland. It's Desperate Sweep and Valiant Gamble balancing for the last fence here. In the Waterford Crystal, Desperate Sweep about a half in front. Over and in front, coming at him, Valiant Gamble again under his big weight. Valiant Gamble's got his nose again in front. Oh, great effort for Australia, and Valiant Gamble's got up to win. A neck on the post to Desperate Sweep. Now,
good gutsy performance there. 7-2 favourite Valiant Gamble. Desperate Sweep looked as though it was going to win for sure in the straight.
It certainly did, especially with Valiant Gamble's big weight of 73 kilos. He was the class horse in the field. He won the Hiskins and the National, and 73 kilos, we don't see a lot of that around today, but with the higher minimum that they were carrying in these jumping races, it was a super effort. I think Jamie Evans' ride on Desperate Sweep to run second threw a bit of confusion into the camp because he wasn't included in the Australian-Irish team.
That's right.
And I think the Irish and the Australians had to sit down and work out what the heck had happened.
Well, it was a draw, and a well-deserved draw too. It was the right way to win.
I feel so.
We look now at the first leg of the quaddie.
of Oak Hill strode away at the 400-metre mark, a length and a half. Street Hawk in the clear. They're followed by Eberly Show and then Sir Jupiter. Friar's Delight getting out, but Duke of Oak Hill's got a nice break, kicked away 2.5 in front of Friar's Delight and Street Hawk, and then Eberly Show and a gap to Sir Jupiter. Duke of Oak Hill with a good lead down to the 180-metre mark, 3 in front. Friar's Delight trying to peg back the leader, then Eberly Show, but Duke of Oak Hill in front. Friar's Delight pegging it back. Duke of Oak Hill a nose in front, and Duke of Oak Hill's got the money. Ahead Friar's Delight, the winner did get out a little.
And Duke of Oak Hill started 9-2, and I'm a Red Man, hasn't won a race for 2 years. Might be another 2 the way he went again yesterday.
Bill, he's been saddled up favourite a few times during this preparation, and I just doubt whether or not the punters will be rallying him too often. It was an ideal race for I'm a Red Man. Yeah, everything looked perfect for him. He just didn't fire.
Let's have a look at the big one of the day, the Diabetes Australia Manikato Stakes.
In front on the outside, Dark Bow. Courtser got tightened up there by Jet Fighter. Then Vitalik, and getting out now our Westminster, Homeward Bound. And Redelva, the leader on the turn, about a length in front. Our Westminster and Vitalik coming with great runs now. Race up to Redelva. Our Westminster gets to Redelva and Vitalik further out with 100 to go. Our Westminster's taken the lead though, the New Zealander from Vitalik. And our Westminster first up in the Manikato. Our Westminster a length and a half, Vitalik. Redelva third, fourth Jet Fighter.
Westminster 11-2. Great run. A protest lodged there. It was dismissed. Our Westminster, I think he sort of shouldered Vitalik out of the way a bit coming to the home turn, Roy.
Yes, just prior to the home turn, Peter Cook on our Westminster. He'd been saving this horse up. He's a horse that only has a reasonably short sprint at the end of his races, and he'd ridden a beautiful race. He's a master horseman, and I think at the time when Vitalik had come to his outside, he said, well, I can't afford to sit any longer, and there was a little bit of movement there, really, but the distance at the end of the race told the story. I don't think there was any one length lost because of the interference. Courtser, yes, good run. I think the Barrier 1 had a bit of a bearing on it, as expressed earlier, that she was definitely in need of the run. And he appeared to make a bit too much use of the Barrier 1 also, riding her for speed in the first 200 or 300 metres. Although herself being a bit fresh and a bit above herself, she may have wanted to race a bit keen. She settled in nicely in behind, got a bit of a bump just prior to the turn on the inside, and then not a lot of room in the straight. Looked for a lot of improvement, but really a great training feat by Mrs. Frazier with our Westminster. Great effort.
Good run, Redelva, and a very disappointing run, King's High. Not political favourite in the next. This is how favourite should run.
Now young Chloe from Phosphora joining in, Not Political on the outside. Spider Rose has gone. Then further back in the field to Fix and Gay Bell trying to get a run. Phosphora grabs young Chloe. Not Political makes a line of 3. Homeward Bound and Not Political took the lead on the outside. Beat off Phosphora and young Chloe. Then further back Little Ripper followed by Gay Bell, but Not Political set to win at the 100-metre mark. Raced away. And the good thing for the day is home Not Political from young Chloe and Gay Bell. Not Political by 3.5. Second home in the race is young...
Not Political always going to win, 10-9 favourite, defeating young Chloe and Gay Bell at 14. Pretty good gallop and Not Political.
Right? She was a class horse of the race, and a pretty good ride by Jamie Evans also. Pretty intelligent ride, just the same.
Signorelli, all the rage in the next.
Happy Features followed by Smooth Bay and Saloon Rule and Paratime. Homeward Bound now. Signorelli goes up to join Seaside Lady. Golden Prayer getting out and looking at danger when they turn, and they're followed by Dare to Hope. Signorelli tackled by Golden Prayer, and on the inside Seaside Lady. Golden Prayer took the lead with 100 to go. Seaside Lady fighting back from Signorelli, but Golden Prayer is going to be too good, and Golden Prayer wins at a neck. Second is Seaside Lady.
Consistent little thing, Golden Prayer. Signorelli disappointing.
But had every chance. Signorelli sat on the outside of the leader. Very consistent, as you said, the winner, Bill. I think that's something like 6 wins from about 12 starts.
Arc Regal, it was the favourite in the last.
Half Arc Regal running to third, but under pressure. He's making some ground. 3 lengths Impressionism, and then a gap in the field to Atvino, and then further back Vibrant Night. Homeward Bound now, and Sculptured Arc goes to Street Ruffian. Now the favourite on the outside, Arc Regal makes a line of 3 out after Street Ruffian, who again is in front, but Arc Regal joins him with 100 to go. Arc Regal put his head in front of Street Ruffian, then Sculptured Arch. Arc Regal drawing clear now. He's a good colt, and Arc Regal comes on to win 3/4 Street Ruffian. 2.5.
And Arc Regal started 3-1. Impressionism very heavily back in the last, never really a danger. Right, let's have a look now at the extra double, 6 and 5, 58.95. The daily double at Moonia Valley, a pair of 2s, 35.70. The quadrella 5 and 3 2s, 408.25. The quad extra, 222 3, $303.50. Roy, through the week?
We're off to Flemington, Royal Flemington on Wednesday, Sandown on Saturday. And just to wind up, a horse to watch from Perth, a horse called Beeley. First up, broke the track record yesterday, and a very, very good horse. Look for him in the Cups.
Right, well, the footy fans out Collingwood Way, you're going to have a lot to listen to in the next half hour or so with our footy panel. See you on the racecourse.
Monday morning feels so bad. Everybody seems to nag me. Come in.
And here we are live at Warwick Farm for the Spring Cup, and the runners are about to be called into line. As you're aware, every horse today is being ridden by an apprentice jockey, with the senior riders' strike continuing. And there's a Western Australian lad here by the name of Damien Oliver. He won the second race on Alibaba, and by gee, I think he's a tremendously impressive boy. He's a great hands and heels rider, cool, calm, collected, with plenty of poise and plenty of natural balance. Ken, I'm just wrapped in D. Oliver. He's on Mabarak in the race coming up. He's on Groucho in the Warwick Stakes, and he's on Comrade in the last race today. He could have a very big day.
I'll be backing him on a few of them, John. Groucho and Comrade for sure. Johnny Miller put a rap on this boy when I was speaking to him when he first came to Melbourne from Perth. He said this kid can ride. Rides a bit like Jay Miller, strong hands and heels, and he's having a big day here at Warwick Farm. OK, let's look at the prices. Algonquin Club is at 7 to 1, 4 to 1 Macquarie Prince, 9 to 1 Semstar, 25 March C, 14 Miss Remus, 8 to 1 Gully Gaskins. As you can see, it's a hard race, a wide betting race. 9 to 2 the Bow. My tip, Mr. Marceau, is at 8 to 1. He still is, and that's great odds, but the one above him, the Bow's got out to about 5s. Mr. Marceau at 8 to 1. I'm on him. 100 Norfolk King, 25 Superfilia. Chagroon was scratched. 16 the horse John spoke of, Mabarak, to be ridden by D. Oliver. Capahula, a very big tip on course, is into 5 to 1 from 6s, and he's been quite well supported in the ring. Hot on Aces is a scratching. OK, my money is on Mr. Marceau. Most punters' money seems to be on Capahula. Here's Johnny.
OK, Ken, we'll soon know as the last of them moves in. Semstar, in fact, is the last one into the starting gate. Starter coming over now to release the field. And they're about set for a start in the Warwick Farm Spring Cup, 2,200 metres. They make a good line. Mabarak in Pacifiers is the inside runner. That device was invented by the Brisbane jockey Michael Pelling. Stalls open, and they're off and running, and a little bit slow to move is March C and Superfilia. Bouncing out in front is Mabarak. Norfolk King is going with it, and handily placed Gully Gaskins, and Capahula is cruising over from his outside barrier. And then Macquarie Prince and Miss Remus, followed by the Bow and March C from Algonquin Club and Semstar. Well back Superfilia, and dropping out to be last is Mr. Marceau as they go out of the straight. Now Mabarak is the leader. Norfolk King in second place, and running third is Capahula, with Gully Gaskins tucked away on the fence in fourth spot. 3 deep the Bow, and 4 deep is March C. At the head of the others, Miss Remus on the inside of Macquarie Prince. A gap to Algonquin Club, followed by Semstar and Mr. Marceau, and last Superfilia. Down the back they go now towards the 1400 mark, and it's Mabarak in front. Norfolk King is second, March C. Wide out makes a line of 3. Running fourth then is the Bow on the outside of Gully Gaskins. A little more than a length to Capahula in a perfect spot, followed by Miss Remus, Macquarie Prince. In on the fence, Algonquin Club as they go down past the 1200 mark. Further back, Mr. Marceau, followed by Semstar, and Superfilia last, and the field is starting to bunch up a little, where Norfolk King, one horse off the rail, put the head in front of Mabarak. In third place, March C, followed by the Bow. Gully Gaskins tucked away on the fence, getting an easy camp behind those leaders, and then Miss Remus, followed by Capahula. A little more than a length then to Algonquin Club and Macquarie Prince from Semstar, Mr. Marceau, and last of all is Superfilia at the 800 mark, and Norfolk King just led Mabarak, whose rider's throwing everything at him this far from home. March C wide out. At the head of the others, the Bow. Capahula's had a lovely run. He's about to cruise up towards the leaders now. Further back is Gully Gaskins with nowhere to go, followed by Algonquin Club, Macquarie Prince, Miss Remus taking off, and then Mr. Marceau and Semstar, and last Superfilia as they come up to the turn at the 500 mark, and there's a charge of leaders. March C being tackled in earnest by Capahula. Carpahula. Algonquin Club sweeping around the outside, followed by the Bow, and Gally Gaskins is now pulled to the outside, but they've straightened up, and Carpahula and Algonquin Club are the two leaders. Gally Gaskins is running on strongly down the middle of the track. Algonquin Club and Carpahula. Gally Gaskins can't reach them at the moment. It's Algonquin Club wide out, and Carpahula about 4 off the fence. Algonquin Club and Carpahula, they come to the line. Algonquin Club did best and beat Carpahula. Gally Gaskins in 3rd place, followed by Macquarie Prince, the Bow. Then Mr. Marceau, March C, Miss Remus, Norfolk King, Wellback Semstar, followed by Superphilia, and Mabarak has run last. And they've gone across the line 1, 12 and 1, 13 and 6 with totes after the break.
Number 1 first, Algonquin Club. As you can see there, 840 and 270. Number 13, second, Carpahula, 240, and Gally Gaskins. Number 6 was third, paying $2.80 on the New South Wales TAB. Kenny.
Well, the Warwick Stakes is traditionally a good horse's race. As a matter of fact, I've just been looking at the list of previous winners, and it certainly reads like a who's who of the Australian turf. In recent years, the great Kingston Town won this race 3 years consecutively. This year is no exception, Ken, because you've got a star-studded bunch on their way to the barrier, including the champion mare Research, who's won about $1.8 million in prize money, but she's a little bit easy in the market. Apparently the good judges are of the opinion she looks a little bit above herself in condition.
Yes, John, and in her 2 previous preparations, she's hasn't got all that flash first up. Groucho's a horse I like. I think he'll win. He loves Warwick Farm. If he wins today, his prize money will go to about $700,000, which is a bit of bread. Here are the prices. Card Shark is 11 to 1. I'm on Groucho. He's showing $3.60 into $3.40. Just under 5 to 2 now. 4 to 1 Targlish, been well backed in the ring. 50 Periscope, 20 Hidden Rhythm, 5 Temple Front, stablemate of Groucho. 100 Palace Revolt, 60 6-0 Bravery. Research, as John said, is a little bit easier. It's 7 to 1. Now, Tommy Smith's 3-year-old Stargazer is at 5 to 1. Tommy just asked me what I've tipped in the race, and I told him Groucho. He said, you just watch this doesn't go whoosho at the finish, Stargazer. He's got a big opinion of his horse. He might just find this a fraction short. Air, another 3-year-old, is at 16 to 1, and the third 3-year-old, Play Chief, is at 80 to 1. Should be about 8,000 to 1. OK, my money's on Groucho. I think he'll win. The main danger, I'd probably say Targlish. Here's Johnny.
Oh, what a field it is, Ken. And talking about star-studded fields, we saw one go around in Melbourne a short time ago in the Manicato Stakes. Peter Cook, I believe, was very lucky to get on a flight to Melbourne this morning to take the ride on our Westminster. Let's see how he got on.
Sword last of all towards the home turner. Redelva being tackled by Dark Bow, a length and a half then. 2 Jet Fighter followed by our Westminster, finishing on with Vitalik. Courtsar under the whipper and a long gap in the field into Potrero as they straighten up. Redelva nicely clear by a length and a half. Here comes our Westminster on the outside. Vitalik finishing on strongly. Our Westminster takes the lead halfway down the straight from Vitalik and Redelva. Our Westminster is clear. Our Westminster too good and wins the Manicato well. Our Westminster by a length to Vitalik. Redelva third. 4th Jet Fighter. Courts are next needed to run.
The Manicato Stakes in Melbourne. Peter Cook's worries are not over yet because there is a protest pending on the result of that race. Second against first, and I'll let you know about that later. Now they're moving in quickly for a start in the Tooheys Draft Warwick Stakes. Already Era has come in with Temple Front. Periscope approaching the stalls with the Queensland Derby winner Hidden Rhythm. Research not quite ready, but only a handful of them to come up now. Bravery is now coming up close to the stalls. Groucho and Targlish are facing up squarely. Groucho is, you've heard the old adage many times, horses for courses. Well, it certainly applies to this horse because Groucho has had 4 starts on this track for 4 very impressive wins. He seems to grow a leg when he comes to Warwick Farm. Let's see if he can make it 5. Groucho has the services of the boy I was telling you about earlier, the West Aussie, Damien Oliver, who's ridden 1 winner here so far today, but the star performer, the Victorian boy, Stephen King, who's won a treble. The last couple have moved in and the starter is on his stand now, and they're all set and ready for a start in the Tui's Draft Warwick Stakes, and the gates open. They're off and running, and towards the outside Periscope is about the first out, beginning quickly Temple Front, and racing towards the lead is the outsider Clay Chief. Era getting into a prominent spot soon after the start. Groucho is right up there with them, and so too is Card Shark, showing surprising speed. Era leads at the end of 300 metres though. Groucho now getting up on the fence to almost join him. In third place Targlish on the outside of Card Shark, followed by Periscope and Clay Chief. At the head of the other Stargazer, Research midfield on the inside of Temple Front, a gap to Hidden Rhythm, followed by Palace Revolt, and last is Bravery. At the 800 mark, and Groucho is allowed to amble to the lead by Damien Oliver. In front by about a length on Era. Card Shark third, and then Targlish and Stargazer now being ridden along. Out deep as Periscope, followed by Temple Front, Research between horses, and then Hidden Rhythm, and well back as Palace Revolt and Bravery as they near the turn. 500 metres out, and Groucho, unbeaten so far on the Warwick Farm course, is going to lead them into the straight over Era, Targlish and Periscope wide out, and then Card Shark followed by Temple Front and Research, hard ridden but starting to come into it as they turn for home, where Groucho has dashed away. Groucho 2 lengths in front, Card Shark getting along the rail, and then Era followed by Research and Targlish, but Groucho clear halfway down the straight as Oliver goes for the whip. He's well clear of Card Shark. Research coming home well with the Sydney Cup winner Palace Revolt from a long way back, but Groucho loves the farm. Groucho first, tight for second, Card Shark, or the very fast finishing Palace Revolt, a Sydney Cup winner who sprinted very well fresh. Then Research, Targlish, followed by Temple Front, Stargazer, Hidden Rhythm and Bravery, and the last couple are Periscope and Era. And things are sweet down on the farm. Number 2, Groucho. 350 and 160, and you've seen this great sprinter maintain his unbeaten record on this course, and the totes are coming up after the break.
Warwick Stakes over 1,400 metres. Groucho, Palace Revolt and Card Shark, numbers 2, 7 and 1. 350, $1.60, $20.80 and $3.60. Congratulations to Kenny Callender for picking Groucho.
Okay, back to Warwick Farm Live, and this time we're looking at 3-year-old fillies in action over 1,160 metres, and that might sound like an unusual distance, but they've moved the barrier stalls forward some 40 metres, apparently right at the 1,200 mark. It was a little bit heavier on the outside of the track, and horses drawn out there would have been at a distinct disadvantage, so the stewards decided, in all fairness, to move the gates forward just slightly for 1,200 metre races, and they gave punters plenty of advice well before the first race, as a matter of fact, and that's the way to do business. Well, Kenny, there's a filly here called Joanne, trained by Jack Denham. She's only had one start midweek and strolled in at Canterbury the other day. Is she up to this better class?
I've tipped it, John. I think she is. I did think she'd be at a better price. I think Groucho was better value at 5 to 2 than she is, but he's won. It's easy to be smart after the ball. Joanne's very promising, and I'm on her too. Here's the prices. Gin Rhythm is at 30 to 1. Tristan R at 14. A Little Kiss, 7 to 2. Yep, getting out a little bit, about 15 to 4. That's $4.80 for $1. Momentary is scratched. 12 Great Happiness, Spect in the Ring. 40 Miss Geronimo. 25 Curacao, 11 Jameen, 100 Kenaloa, 60 Bistro Miss, 14 Spirited Way, 12 to 1 another Brisbane horse, Soul Star, 50 to 1 Queen Zenobia, a big field here, 200 to 1 Sinead, 100 to 1 Tall Waves, Way of Hope is at 14, Aretha, a winner here at the track at 50 to 1, Mighty Ascent at 400 to 1, Ockletree 14 to 1, yep, she's still that price, no, into about 12 to 1 now, Ockletree. Joanne, as John said, is the favourite. She's showing $3.20 for $1 on the tote, which is odds of just under 9 to 4. A little bit shorter again with bookmakers. Yep, I don't think they're even starting to move into the barrier here. There looks like being a slight hold-up. John, have we got a Melbourne race there as a standby?
Well, Kenny, I've just been advised by the stewards that the reason for this slight delay is that they're having trouble putting the gates into the exact position they want them. The tractor that tows the starting stall Petition, I think, might have become bogged momentarily on the extreme outside section of the track, but I just saw the bank of stalls move rather significantly, so I'd say that they've been able to jockey them into the correct spot now. Okay, why don't we go down to Moonee Valley again, where the Guinness Handicap was run a short time back, and this was set aside exclusively for mares.
Phosphor, and here comes Not Political around the outside with a very fast runner. Spider Rose is next, a gap in the field to a fix, followed next by Gay Bell, and Little Rippers are about to straighten up where Young Chloe is being tackled by Phosphor. Out 3 deep on the track, coming at them is the favourite, and going to the front now, Not Political, halfway down the straight. She's clear of Young Chloe battling on, followed by Phosphor, Gay Bell and Little Ripper, but Not Political too good, and Not Political will win it well. Not Political is won by 3 lengths to Young Chloe, who hung on well for second. Gay Bell third. Fourth home is...
Your commentator, of course, was our good mate John Russell. The winner's name was Not Political, and it would have been hard to back a horse with a name like that because there are very few things on this earth today that are not political. Now, the runners are moving up. They've got the gates right where they want them, and the runners are now spilling into the stalls. Mighty Ascent and Queen Zenobia get in quickly with Way of Hope and Tall Waves. Now, going up into line is A Little Kiss, and Sinead is about to move forward, waiting on Great Happiness, but they're coming in well. They're a tractable bunch. Now, Bart Cummings has multiple representation, and his green and gold stripes are being well utilised with different colours sleeves to different